I quit. That's the word from two members of the newly formed Housing Quality Task Force. And those members were the only ones on the task force who represent renters. Deanna, the mayor formed this task force in February to address the city's housing crisis.
Yep.
Looks like there's some dissension in the ranks.
Oh yeah, Brett. Dissension, frustration, aggravation. That's what the leader of the citywide tenant union of Rochester expressed today. And Liz McGriff told the task force, I quit. The leader of the homeless union quit too. More than 60% of Rochesterians rent, and half of those renters are living in substandard housing. But Liz says this task force favors landlords and is unwilling to address the needs of Rochester renters.
The Housing Quality Task Force that I will be putting together.
It began with a big press event, high hopes and very high expectations.
The teamwork begins today.
That team included landlords, civic leaders, a homeless representative, and one woman who represented the voice of Rochester renters.
You would definitely have with this with this task force folks who will have different viewpoints. So Liz McGriff from the tenant union will bring her voice.
And so on that day, I asked Liz McGriff of the citywide tenant union a crucial question. There will be those who say that this task force is putting lipstick on a pig. You say what to that?
I'm saying I don't know that yet.
That was in February. She's now served on that task force for more than 3 months. What do you say now?
I think it's lipstick on a pig.
You can see the hole.
Oh my God.
You see it?
She says the task force ignored her recommendations to improve Rochester's slum problem, like this rental home I exposed in May. So Liz quit the task force.
And then when we start talking about code enforcement and all the problems wrong with code enforcement, then it switched to let's not punish landlords. Let's incentivize landlords to create housing for low-income tenants.
She says in order to address housing quality, you must address the city's failure to enforce its own codes, like this home, where the renter has lived for 2 years with more than 70 code violations and no certificate of occupancy.
Pushed a hole right here, broke this out.
Or this one I showed you in March that had more than 40 violations and no certificate of occupancy. That's why when the mayor launched the task force, I asked him specifically about code enforcement.
But enforcement is a major piece of this. Code enforcement is absolutely a major piece of this.
But Liz says that's one of many issues the task force has failed to address, and she's out. Her message by stepping down? Really collaborate with tenants.
To really seriously improve housing for the people in the community.
Now, the city's director of communications says no one was available to talk to me today, but she did send me a statement from the task force co-chairs. It reads, the citywide tenant union and homeless union have been important and valued members of the Housing Quality Task Force. Their seats remain available to them. Task force recommendations to be presented to the mayor next week will reflect the input of all participants. Those recommendations are supposed to be complete next Friday, and of course, I'll bring those to you when I get them. Brett?